Good morning, Rich Rising. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's practice will be a full body stretch. It'll be a really good way to start the day. So by the end of this practice, we'll have stretched our full bodies, built some strength, and we'll be ready to move into and throughout the rest of our day. So if that sounds good, I hope it does. I will meet you on the mat. So if you haven't already, go ahead and find a comfortable seat, a comfortable cross-legged seat, and we'll start by settling in. Go ahead and bring one hand to heart and the other hand to belly. And we'll start with some deep, cleansing, purposeful breaths. Inhale through the nose, and let it out through the mouth. Inhale fully through the nose. Chest rises, shoulders rise, lungs expand, and let it out through the mouth. One final time, inhale through the nose, and let it out through the mouth. The affirmation for this practice is I allow things to come. I allow things to go. I surrender and I flow. And I invite you to revisit that affirmation or any affirmation or intention that you've created for yourself as we journey throughout this practice. Go ahead and slowly blink, open the eyes, release the hands, and we will get started. We'll switch it up today. It's nice to switch it up sometimes. We'll start kneeling, so find your way to all fours, tuck the toes under, and make sure to spread the toes out. And once that's done, go ahead and just sit back on your heels. And we don't often stretch our toes, so this can be pretty intense. So just don't forget to breathe. But if you find that it's too intense and you feel like your toes are going to fall off, you can just go ahead and untuck the toes and just sit on your heels. Just find whatever feels best for you right now. And if you are on your toes, we won't stay here long, I promise. Inhale the arms up toward the sky. Exhale, bend over toward the right, bringing the right hand outside of the right hip for a side stretch. Maybe you send your gaze forward. Maybe you look up toward the sky. Inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, we'll bend over toward the left this time. Inhale, come back to center. And this time we'll interlace the hands at the low back. Draw the shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, lift the gaze. And on the exhale, extend the arms long, bringing the interlace away from the low back for a gentle back bend. Exhale to release. And find your way to all fours with the wrists under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. Maybe shake out your toes a little bit if you need to. Maybe wiggle your toes. And we'll start with some movement in our spines. Inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, belly softens for cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, press the earth away, draw the chin in toward the chest for cat pose. Inhale, heart lifts, tailbone lifts, look forward, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, draw the chin in, coming into cat pose. And go ahead and take a few more rounds of cat-cow at your own pace, making sure to sync each breath with movement. On your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine, tabletop, and we'll switch it up again. Go ahead and turn the hands so that the fingertips are facing in toward your body for a wrist stretch. And we often don't stretch our wrists either, so if this is too intense, feel free to stay here. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can take a few rounds of cat-cow here. On your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Turn the hands back around so the fingertips are facing forward. And go ahead and begin to walk the hands forward, extending the arms long, allowing the heart to melt toward the earth, coming into puppy pose. And you can either bring your forehead to the mat or you can bring your chin to the mat. Find whatever feels best for you here. And if you brought your chin to the mat, go ahead and bring the forehead to the mat. And then just lift up slightly, weaving the left hand under the right, the left side ear, left side face, left shoulder releases to the earth, coming into thread the needle. And you can keep the the right arm long, or you can inhale the right arm up and over, bringing the right fingertips to the left hip crease for a twist. Exhale to release the right arm, extending it long, coming back into puppy pose, and we'll do the other side. This time weaving the right arm under the left, releasing the right side ear, right shoulder to the earth. And like you did on the other side, you can keep the left arm long, or you can inhale the left arm up and over, bringing the left fingertips to the right hip crease. Keep pulling the lower belly in and keep breathing in and out through the nose. Exhale to release the left arm, sending it long to the front of the mat, coming back into puppy pose. Begin to walk the hands back in toward the body, coming into tabletop. Walk the knees back slightly, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Press into the fingertips and the base of the fingers where the fingers meet the palms. Press the earth away, pull the lower belly in and lift the hips as high as you can. And draw the heels down toward the earth. And if you find that you're rounding in the spine at all, go ahead and just bend the knees, but just keep pressing the earth away and lifting the hips as high as you can. If you want to get into the backs of the legs, go ahead and pedal out the feet, just alternately bending and straightening each leg. On your next exhale, find stillness in your downward facing dog, and we'll move into our flow. Inhale the right leg up toward the sky, down dog split. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands, coming into runner's lunge. And if the foot doesn't make it all the way to the top, that's okay. Wherever it lands, just go ahead and scooch it up to the front of the mat. Lower the left knee, untuck the left toes, moving into low lunge. Go ahead and square the hips toward the front of the mat so the right hip pulls back and the left hip pulls forward. Pull the lower belly in, lift the chest, send the gaze forward. Begin to heel toe the right foot out toward the right, so now the hands are on the inside of the right foot for lizard pose. And keep pulling that lower belly in, keep lifting the chest and look forward. Feel the stretch in the left hip, the right hip and the left hip flexor. And keep sinking the hips low. Plant the palms, step back to the top of a push-up, plank pose. Begin to move the heels over toward the right. Inhale the left arm up toward the sky for a side plank. Make sure to squeeze the legs together to keep them strong and engaged, and press into the fingertips and the base of the fingers so we protect our wrists. And if it's still too much, you can use your left foot as a kickstand. Exhale to release, coming back into plank pose. Press it back, downward facing dog. Take a few seconds to connect to your breath before we move on to the other side. Inhale the left leg up toward the sky this time, down dog split. Exhale, step it through, coming into runner's lunge. Lower the right knee, untuck the right toes, low lunge. Square the hips, this time the left hip pulls back and the right hip pulls forward. Lift the chest, send the gaze forward. Take deep breaths, sending the breaths to the spaces that need it the most. Begin to heel toe the left foot out toward the left. So now the hands are on the inside of the left foot for lizard pose. This time feeling the stretch in the left hip and the right hip flexor. Plant the palms, step it back to the top of a push-up, plank pose. This time the heels fall over toward the left, coming into a side plank on the left side. Inhaling the right arm up toward the sky. Draw the shoulder blades together to keep the chest open, squeeze the legs together. And again, if you need to, you can use the right foot as a kickstand. Exhale to release, coming back into plank pose. Lower the knees to the earth and lower the upper body to the earth as well, coming all the way down to your stomach. Bring the forehead to the earth. Interlace the hands at the low back, drawing the shoulder blades together. Press into the tops of the feet, tops of the thighs, pull the lower belly in. Take a big breath in and lift it all. Lift your feet, lift your chest, and extend the arms long behind you, coming into locust pose. Spread the toes. Keep pulling the lower belly in. See if you can lift up a little higher. Exhale to release, bringing one cheek to the mat. Maybe wiggling your hips side to side to release the low back. One more time, engage the lower body, press into the tops of the toes, press into the thighs, pull the lower belly in. But this time, we'll bring the elbows under the shoulders so that the forearms are parallel and the fingers are facing the front of the mat. Take a big breath in, lift the heart, send the gaze forward, coming into Sphinx pose. Make sure to keep the tailbone long, sending the tailbone toward your heels. This is one of my favorite poses because it's so gentle yet so effective. Exhale to release the front body, and this time we'll bring the hands under the shoulders, and again press the tops of the toes into the mat, press the thighs into the mat, pull the low belly in. And this time we're moving into cobra pose. So on the inhale, without placing too much weight in your hands, go ahead and lift the chest, cobra, and draw the elbows in toward your body. So maybe you go for a little baby cobra, maybe you lift up a little higher, sending the gaze forward. Exhale to release and find your way back into downward facing dog. Take a second to check in with your body. See if you feel a little more open than you did at the start of this class, at the start of this practice. Inhale the right leg up toward the sky, down dog split. Exhale, step it through. And then pivot the feet, pivot the body so that you're facing the left long side of your mat in a wide-legged forward fold. The toes are turned in slightly so that the edges of the feet are parallel to the mat. Press into the big toes and the outer edges of the feet. Lift the knees, engage the quads. And if you want to get a shoulder stretch, you can interlace the hands at the low back. Inhale, halfway lift. And on the exhale, see if you can fold a little deeper, sending the interlace up and overhead. Exhale to release the hands. Bring the left hand to the center of the mat. Inhale the right arm up toward the sky, coming into a twist. Exhale to release. We'll do the other side. This time the right hand comes to the center of the mat. Inhale the left arm up toward the sky for a twist. Exhale to release. We'll twist one more time, and this time we'll take it a little deeper. So this time the left hand will come to the outside of the left foot the right foot or the right ankle. Inhale the right arm up toward the sky, taking that twist. Exhale to release, other side. Right hand comes to the outside of the left foot or the left ankle. Inhale the left arm up toward the sky. Exhale to release. Heel toe the feet together, bringing them in. And we're in a forward fold, Uttanasana. And then begin to roll your way up, slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Your head is the last to rise. Forgive me, the mosquitoes. And send the arms up toward the sky. Interlacing the hands, leaving the pointer finger and the thumb outside of the interlace. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, reach through the fingertips. And then exhale, bring the toes to touch and the heels to touch. And bend over toward the right. Maybe you look forward. Maybe you send your gaze up toward the sky. Keeping the arms as long as you can. Inhale, back to center. And we'll exhale, we'll bend over toward the left. Inhale, come back to center. This time on the exhale, we'll do a slight back bend. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just be sure to lift up and out of the hips and the low back and bend from the upper back. Exhale, release, bringing the palms to touch at heart center, leaving space in the center for our affirmation or any intention that you've created. And once again, we'll switch it up and we'll end here standing, pressing into the four corners of the feet, firmly rooting into the earth, feeling the energy draw up from the earth into the soles of your feet and into the rest of your body. I allow things to come. I allow things to go. I surrender and I flow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today and for allowing me to guide you through this practice. Let me know how it went for you in the comment section below. If you did enjoy the practice, please give this video a thumbs up as it helps me immensely. If you have a friend that you think might enjoy this practice or might enjoy this channel, please share it with them. I think that's all I've got. So I thank you again for practicing with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.